So I'm back here again to continue off a discussion similar to what I was talking about. But yeah, I admit I did support her in a presidential campaign in 2020 in her attempt to run. And I did believe the lies. And I believe the Democratic Party was sort of purposely trying to sideline her and, all that. But you know what? I'm going to be honest. They do that against people they don't like. The party of the establishment. Yes, yes. The establishment of the party, the donor class, they do try to sabotage outsider type of candidates. So I wouldn't have doubted some form they did do that to her. But this psyop she's pulling off right now, it doesn't justify her behavior to selling out to this regime. She could have dealt with her grievances a different way within the Democratic Party. I understand her frustration being a former member of the Democratic Party. I get it. I'm not always happy with the Democratic Party. I have my issues with them. I've gone to some of the Democratic Party events. I put in my 2 cents about how things should be done and how these people are willfully out of touch with regular people and how they need to be more inclusive in their party and stop trying to tip the scales for certain candidates. Because I don't agree with them doing that, regardless of who it is. I don't want them sabotaging anyone's campaign. Because I'm principled, I'm consistent across the board. I support ranked choice voting. I support open primaries. Okay, I've been very vocal about that. I think a lifting tide should lift all ships. I believe that we should be inclusive and include everybody in the political process, whether we agree with them or not. It's not about only getting people that agree with you to vote and trying to silence and shut down voices that don't agree with you. See, and that's precisely what we're seeing on the right now with the Republican Party and Donald Trump. We're seeing them trying to stop democracy from happening. But don't be fooled to believe it don't exist in some wings of the Democratic Party, too. It does. It does. Through the elite, for the political elite. Oh, absolutely. And I wouldn't doubt they'd done some shady stuff to Tulsi when she ran. But here's the thing about her. She's not consistent either. She's a liar. She's a grifter. She has no political principles. I don't deny the fact that in some ways she was treated wrongfully within the party. I mean, I'm sure they did. They did to a lot of candidates they didn't like. But the way she would have intelligently elevated her political career was to walk away from that with dignity and actually fight for a just cause. Because right now, our country is hurting so much through this regime. And she could have been on the right side of history fighting for justice for this country. She could have been one of those dark horse saviors who saved our country from ourselves. Okay. That would have been the best revenge Tulsi Gabbard could have got on the Democratic Party establishment. Not joining Team MAGA, who's destroying our country right now. And then going on oath and trying to lie about her responsibilities as being ahead of the director of the CIA, director of intelligence. Okay. She sold her soul to the incarnate. No political brilliant mind, no normie voter in America of either side of that will ever take Tulsi Gabbard serious again. She has sold her reputation because she thought it was going to politically benefit her. Okay. That's when you know a voice that plays independent does not care about justice, does not care about doing what's right for the country. The same goes with RFK. Never mind just Tulsi Gabbard. RFK is another example. RFK played this game of being this outsider who's more progressive than the Democratic Party to suddenly go to the right of the Democratic Party and suddenly become a psyop for Donald Trump. and then effectively used his influence, right along with Tulsi, ran an independent presidential campaign knowing he had no shot in heck of winning. Okay. Wasting everybody's time. Running a silly, goofy campaign that on no real message. Then ultimately dropping out to endorse Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump promised him a cabinet position, just like he did for Tulsi. That's why they endorsed Donald Trump. Okay. Tulsi's excuse was to basically get revenge on the Democratic Party because she was mad at them. And she had a personal feud with Kamala Harris, which don't ask me why that's the case. I have no idea. I don't know where the jealousy is even coming from because she didn't win the presidency. She didn't get the full love of the Democratic Party, so I don't know what her jealousy was coming from. So maybe she has her own issues with race. I have no idea. Maybe she don't like black women. I don't know what her issue is. But the thing is, she sold out to the good old white man's good old boy club, I guess, because she thinks she's one of them. But the thing is, and RFK, I don't know what his reason was. I mean, I think that Trump just promised him a lot of stuff to further elevate his political career, and that's basically what happened. And he dropped out and endorsed Trump. He used his third-party run to influence the election to help Trump win. Him and Tulsi both. Her indirectly, him more directly. RFK. Because these people are grifters. So, at this point, forget anything they said 5 years ago. Because if they truly believed in what they said 5 years ago, they wouldn't be condoning and working for the fascist regime that's destroying what we're supposed to value about this country as they're creating wars all over the world. They own this. They own this. They're grown adults. They're independent human beings. They were the ones out speaking against the two-party establishment, the uniparty, all this stuff they went on and on about. The government's so corrupt and they're not doing enough for the working people and all this stuff. And what are they doing right now? They're working for the most corrupt regime and presidential administration in U.S. frickin' history. So anything they say at this point is deemed irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. Nobody will ever take these two people serious again. And I'm glad even now the podcasters are waking up to this BS. Because if you're still defending what this guy is doing to this country and to countries outside our borders, then your judgment is not relevant. Because anybody with common sense is going to see that he is not doing a good job. Okay? He's not. I need you to use your eyes, your brain, your ears, and your objectivity for once and pay attention. And if you have one iota of principles, you're going to see this for what it is and walk the frick away. I don't care what your political views are. I don't care if you're a lifelong conservative. You can objectively see what's going on here is wrong. You don't have to give up your beliefs and your values and your principles, but you can walk away from a corrupt, flawed regime and individual and still be who you are. So that's all I wanted to say here. Y'all have a great night. Y'all have a great day. God bless everyone. Love you all. Goodbye.